That was England Dan and John Ford Coley with We'll Never Have to Say Goodbye Again, a number 9 hit in 1978. Our guest this hour is John Ford Coley. He's going to be performing with Ambrosia at the Tillis Center Concert Hall in Brookfield, New York on Friday, October 25th. John Ford Coley, welcome to the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for doing it.
Well, this sounds like an interesting evening. Tell us a little bit about this show coming up at the Tillis Center. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Well, I hope that's the name because that's the one I've been saying. So, yeah, I think we're kind of in the ballpark there. On this particular show, this is what we call Rock the Dock. And so we have several different bands come up and play. Ambrosia, who had things like How Much I Feel and You're the Only Woman. They are playing, but they're also the backup band. So we've also got Peter Beckett from Player. He had Baby Come Back, and then we've got Elliot Lurie, who was in Looking Glass, that did Brandy. And then I'm John Portfolio or John Pepsi Cola or Juan Queso Frijoles, whatever you want to call me. And I'm going to be up playing my songs as well. So we've got about a 90 minutes to 2 hour show, and it's a lot of fun because you're going to hear hits all night long.
Well, certainly one of the highlights of this show has to be you performing your big hit from 1976, I'd Really Love to See You Tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about how that song came together?
Well, the funny thing about that, the song that beat us out of the number 1 position was Play That Funky Music, White Boy. And I thought, now that's funny. But neither Dan or I, either one, wanted to do that song. First of all, we were singer-songwriters. Although we'd only made about $1.98 and all the things that we had written and sold, we still wanted to be known as singer-songwriters and did not want to do the song. We thought that it was a female song, and they just kept going, no, do it. Just do it. Just humor us. And we went, okay. So now the funny thing about it is Parker McGee was the boy that wrote that song. And again, you've got these pure things. I want to be this kind of a pure artist and, that nonsense. And so I saw the first royalty check that came in off of Really Love to See You Tonight, and I found out precisely how mercenary I could be. I'm calling up Parker going, Parker, hey, buddy, what else you got? he had Nights Are Forever, and we ended up doing that one, and that was the second big hit for us. So I learned a great lesson during that time.
England Dan and John Ford Coley with their number 2 hit of 1976, I'd Really Love to See You Tonight. John Ford Coley joins us this hour on the program. What I like about that song, there are many things. It's a beautiful melody, actually, that song. But lyrically, when you think about it, it might be a little deceptive. There might be a little more going on there than just the surface. He's saying, I'm not talking about moving in. I'm not talking about changing your life. I just want to see you tonight. However, if things go the way I think they'll go, I will be moving in, and I will be changing your life.
Oh, okay, I can see right now you've mistaken me for someone who actually thinks. Okay, I got you.
Well, let me ask you about another interesting lyric. It's sad to belong. Now, that's a situation that a lot of people can relate to. You're with someone, but maybe they're not.
You know what? People were calling in the radio stations and saying, you can't play that song. It's a song about cheating. Man, I'm young and stupid out of Texas. For me, it was a comedy song because I thought, okay, you with the right one, but clearly the real right one just came along. But what happens if that's not the real right one and the real right one is next after that, and then the real right? I mean, I just called it the non-commitment song. This song can go on forever.
Would it be fair to say that you guys specialized in love songs?
Yeah, at that particular time, it wasn't very popular to talk about racquetball clinics and stuff like that, so we just, we'd do the love song stuff. And as a matter of fact, I was telling a story the other night on stage. We came in and we had another direction that we were trying to go because Dan and I were both trained very eclectically, musically. And so as a result, we had done this for a while, but we wanted to go heavier. So we took a song called Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive off of the, Hollywood Heckle and Jive off the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde album. And we'd go into the radio stations. We said, look, this is kind of the direction we're going, and this is a song we're thinking about playing. And they said, well, that's not England Dan and John Ford Coley. And I'd go, no, that is us. And they go, no, that's not England Dan and John Ford Coley. I'd go, no, I'm serious, that's us. And they said, no, you don't understand. That's not the England Dan and John Ford Coley we want. Mm. And I went, okay, I get it. So not too long after that, Dan and I called it quits because, again, we realized that at that particular time, we were relegated to that particular sound, and we were not going to be able to progress at all. So we said, okay, let's kind of give it a rest here and walk out being on top. So that's pretty much how that happened.
And all of these stories and more are covered in your memoir, correct?
Yeah, I wrote a book called Backstage Pass. I tell everyone I hear it's funny, but I hadn't read it myself, so I can't verify that. But I wrote it. I refer to it as my unauthorized autobiography. I didn't give myself permission to write it, So it's not about drugs, sex, and rock and roll. It's just about all the insane things that would occur on the road. At one point, I had a couple of people in there, that I did not treat well because they didn't deserve to be treated well. And I just went, nah, I don't really want to do that. So it's just a bunch of funny stories. It's designed to make people laugh. They're short stories, but it's just about being on the road with all the people that we traveled with for all those years. And we had some really fun things, that's for sure.
And where's the best place to get this book, Backstage Pass?
You can go to my website, johnfordcoley.com, and just go into the store and scroll down, and you'll find it.
Once again, we've been talking with John Ford Coley. He's going to be performing at the Tillis Center Concert Hall in Brookville, New York, for the Rock the Dock show with Ambrosia and friends. Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, and Elliot Lurie, and of course our guest John Ford Coley. And before we go, I know you have this relatively recent release called Sketches Volume 1. And I want to play a song to go out on. We've been having a lot of fun here, but this is kind of a special song, I think. What It Feels Like When God Don't Love You Anymore. Tell us about this album and this song.
Yeah, I wrote that with a girl by the name of Pamela Oland. I had this idea floating around for the longest time, and I had the music to it already. And so I was looking for somebody that I could connect with them. And so I said, you wanna give it this thing a go? And she did, because I think people go through a point in their life to where you think it's not working. Everything that I'm touching is just, either drifting away or turning to dirt, any kind of relationship. It's like something's just not working properly. And you just feel like, God, man, you got it in for me. What did I do to tick you off? And so that's pretty much what that song is. And it says, but there's really never a time that God doesn't love you anymore. So for whatever reason you're going through the things, who knows, but it will eventually end, and you've got support.
So is there going to be a volume 2?
I'm not for sure yet. Actually, how that came about was Tom Worth, the guy that I work with a lot. He's actually helped me co-produce the CDs that I've done as an individual, as a solo artist. And he came over one day, and I said, Tom, what do you think about this song? And I just played it for him. I think I played him I Want to Be the Kind of Man. Mm-hmm. And so I said, what do you think about that? And he goes, oh, man. He says, when did you do that? And I said, a long time ago. What do you think about this one? And I played him another one. And he said, what are you doing with these things? And I said, nothing, just sitting in the drawer over there. I was just kind of reviewing them. And he said, you need to take a bunch of these things. We'll do another album. And I said, yeah, but, these are all demos. And he goes, no, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Put them out, just as is. And I went, okay. And that's what we did. So, there was just all of these songs that were sitting there, and they don't do anyone any good if they're just sitting in the drawer. It's kind of like knowledge, It's got to be shared. And so we did that, and then we're kind of looking at some of the other ones that were in the drawer as well, and we're going to make a volume 2. I'm not sure what the timeline is on that, but hopefully it's pretty soon.
Once again, John Ford Coley has been our guest. Thank you so much, sir. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.